The devil is in the detail of these agreements. Well, this economic prosperity deal is only 5 pages long, so not much detail, but let's see if we can find any devil. It starts with some broad commitments, 3 of them, to grow the quality and volume of beneficial trade, to remove barriers and deliver an enduring economic partnership. All laudable, but there is a kicker. This document does not constitute a legally binding agreement. Let's see what it does say for certain. It agrees that the 2 sides will try and reduce tariffs on both sides, and we've heard about the big measures on that. To start with, beef tariffs disappearing. 13,000 tonnes of beef can now flow tariff-free in either direction. That's about 50,000 steaks a year. Car tariffs too dropped from that ruinous 25% to 10% on the first 100,000 vehicles. Steel tariffs have dropped too, but there's an interesting bit of language here about steel. The UK will work to promptly meet US requirements on the security of the supply chains of steel intended for export to the US. What does that mean? It looks like it's recruiting the UK's help in keeping out Chinese steel that undercuts US producers. The government has insisted today America does not have a veto on future trade agreements regarding China. There's interesting language too on pharmaceuticals. We know Donald Trump is considering tariffs on medicines. That's hugely important for the UK. It's an £8 billion export market. The deal says the 2 sides will work to agree preferential treatment outcomes on pharmaceuticals, but the UK confirms it will endeavour to improve the overall environment for pharmaceutical companies. What could that mean? Well, the long-standing complaint from the industry is that the NHS underpays for drugs it uses its size of monopoly to drive down prices. So this might be the start of the negotiation in which the price of relief from future US tariffs is agreeing to push up the NHS medicines bills. That's one to watch. Now, from pharmaceuticals to farmers, because on top of that deal on beef, there's some language on agriculture worth looking at. Both sides want to work constructively to enhance agricultural market access. Nothing wrong with that. Farmers on both sides of the Atlantic want access to those markets, but it's often been considered too complicated because of our food standards, the stuff that keeps out hormone-treated beef and chlorinated chicken. But these standards are still in the deal. The sanitary and phytosanitary standards must remain. Now, that's considered a real coup in government. I understand the Americans tried to roll those over. They refused. And one of the reasons they're happy is because it means a deal with the EU is still on the table. So can we take all of that to the bank? Well, let's have a look at the last line of the agreement. Perhaps not yet. The US or the UK may terminate this arrangement by giving written notice to the other. So given the nature of this precedent, perhaps the sooner it's signed and sealed, the better.